Good morning, students. Today we will read the first chapter of Footprints Without Feet, that is, A Triumph of Surgery. This chapter is written by an English veterinary surgeon and writer, James Alfred Wright, James Herriot, we can say. Being a noted veterinary surgeon, he utilized his vast experience in writing stories about animals. This story is also one of his main stories, the stories related to animals. This story revolves around an ill dog named Tricky and his mistress, Mrs. Pumphrey. Tricky, a small dog, is pampered and overfed by his rich mistress, Mrs. Pumphrey. He falls seriously ill, and his mistress consults a veterinary surgeon named Dr. Herriot. Does he perform an operation? Does the dog recover? We will find the answer of these questions after reading the chapter. No doubt, Tricky recovered, and Mrs. Pumphrey called this magical recovery a triumph of surgery. How it all happens? Let us read the chapter. Before reading, there are some questions, but before doing these question answers, first we will read the chapter. I was really worried about Tricky this time. I had pulled my car when I saw him in the street with his mistress, and I was shocked at his appearance. Here, the narrator, Dr. Herriot, starts telling us that how he was worried about Tricky, a pet dog of Mrs. Pumphrey. The narrator, Mr. Herriot, stopped his car as he saw Tricky in the street with his mistress. Why he was shocked? And I was shocked at his appearance. Why he was shocked? Why? Because Tricky had become hugely fat, like a bloated sausage. Bloated means swollen. Sausage means a mixture of finely chopped and cooked meat. That means he has become only like a swollen meat with a leg at each corner. His eyes bloodshot, his eyes were full of red lines and rheumy, watery, wet, stared straight ahead, and his tongue lolled from his jaws. Lolled means his tongue hung down in a relaxed way. No doubt his condition was miserable. He had become so fat that he was not able to move properly. Mrs. Pumphrey hastened to explain he was listless. So here Mrs. Pumphrey just started to give explanation after asking from Dr. Herriot. She told Dr. Herriot that she thought that Tricky was malnourished. He was listless, he was energyless, he was lifeless, Mr. Herriot. He seemed to have no energy. I thought he must be suffering from malnutrition. And she thought that Tricky was malnourished because she didn't have any energy and excitement. So I have been giving him some little extras between meals to build him up. And that's why she told him that she used to give him malt, cod liver oil, and a bowl of Horlicks at night apart from his regular meals. some malt and cod liver oil, and a ball of Horlicks at night to make him sleep. That means to build him his body, and so that he could sleep properly at night. Nothing much really. Although she gave him so much to eat, even then she says that she doesn't give him much to eat. Why? Because that was her love for him. That was her bonding for him. She was just over pampering him. She was just over feeding him. Then the narrator asks her, "And did you cut down on the sweet things as I told you?" Then the narrator asked her if she had cut down on his sweets as he had asked her to do. Then she replied, "Oh, I did for a bit." That means she did it for a while. But he seemed to be so weak, I had to relent. But she felt that he was getting weaker, because of which she had to stop being so harsh with him. Relent means soften. That's why she had to soften with him. She had to stop being so harsh with him. He does love cream cakes and chocolates, so I can't bear to refuse him. And then she says that she is unable to refuse him cakes and chocolates as those were his favorite things. I looked down again at the little dog. Then the narrator understood Tricky's problem. What was that? That was the problem. Tricky's only fault was greed. He had never been known to refuse food. So, what was his fault? His greed. So, the doctor understood all these things, and he understood this thing. The dog was very greedy and could eat at any time of the day. He did not know how to say no to food when his stomach was full. So he would tackle a meal at any hour of the day or night, and I wondered about all the things Mrs. Pamphray had not mentioned. Then the narrator also thought to himself of all the things that Mrs. Pamphray would not have mentioned, which she fed Tricky. "Are you giving him plenty of exercise?" Then narrator asked Mrs. Pamphray whether Tricky was exercising, then to which Mrs. Pamphray replies that, "Well, he has his little walks with me, as you can see, but Hosing, the gardener, has been down with lumbago, so there has been no ring throwing lately. But recently, what is going on? Her gardener was not well. Who takes him out to play is not coming these days because of pain in his lower back, and that's why Trick is not playing his ring throwing exercise. And that's why we can say Tricky was not getting enough exercise, and that's why he was getting fat. He was becoming fat due to excess of food and lack of exercise. Now come to the questions. Why is Mrs. Pamphray worried about Tricky? Why she was worried? She was worried about Tricky because he was becoming quite fat and listless. He has lost his appetite. He often vomits and lies down motionless on the carpet. What does he do to help him? She consult a doctor to help him. Is she wise in this? Yes, we can say this thing. Why? After all, Dr. Harriet is a famous veterinary surgeon and the dog is in his safe hands. Who does I refer to in this story? I means I refers to the narrator, who is Dr. James Harriet. Okay, come to next page. I tried to sound severe. Now I really mean this. If you don't cut his food right down and give him more exercise, He is going to be really ill. Now, the narrator tried to talk seriously to Mrs. Pumphrey that if she did not control Tricky's eating habits and increased his exercise, he would soon fall ill. You must harden your heart and keep him on a very strict diet. He told her that she should stay strong and strict with him and put him on a strict diet. Otherwise, he would fall ill. Mrs. Pumphrey wrung her hands. She just twisted her hands forcibly. Oh, I will. That means now she was well determined. Mr. Harriet, I'm sure you are right, but it is so difficult. So difficult, she set off. So she accepted that, although she knew that Mr. Harriet was right, but it was too difficult for her to refuse him for anything. But now she has decided that she would be strict towards it. Then she left the place. She set off means she moved from that place. She just started or left that place as if head down along the road, as if determined to put the new regime into practice immediately, as if she was now ready to follow the new routine properly. I watched their progress with growing concern. Now, Mr. Harriet was watching them go and looking at Tricky, who was walking slowly. Tricky was tottering along in his little tweed coat. So, Tricky was just moving, struggling, staggering along in his little tweed coat. He had a whole wardrobe of these coats. That means we can say his mistress was quite rich, and that's why she was able to provide every facility to her dog, to her pet dog. And Tricky had a whole wardrobe of these coats for the cold weather and a raincoat for the wet days. He struggled on. He was just struggling. He was not able to move properly. Drooping in his harness. Drooping means we can say his skin was hanging down in his uh, strap, in his harness, that means in his leather strap. So he was just struggling on. He was walking slowly. His loose body was hanging in his strap, leather strap. I thought it wouldn't be long before I heard from Mrs. Pumphrey. So the narrator, who was just observing them, he was able to understand this thing, that he would be receiving a call about Tricky falling ill, and that message came soon. It came, that expected call came within a few days, and that expected call that Tricky is not well, Tricky has fallen ill, it came after a few days. Mrs. Pumphrey was distraught. Mrs. Pumphrey was very upset. Tricky would eat nothing, refused even his favorite dishes, and besides, he had bouts of vomiting. So, now what was going on? Mrs. Pumphrey was very upset as Tricky was not eating anything, not even his favorite dishes, and was vomiting frequently. Bouts means fits. That means he was vomiting frequently. He spent all his time lying on a rug, panting. So, what he was doing due to this condition? He was just lying on a rug, panting. Panting means taking deep breath. Didn't want to go for walks, didn't want to do anything. And what was his condition? He did not even want to do anything. Now, being a veterinary doctor, I had made my plans in advance. So the narrator knew that the only way to get Tricky was to get him out of the house for a few days. So he had made his plans in advance. The only way was to get Tricky out of the house for a period. I suggested that he be hospitalized for about a fortnight. Fortnight means a period of 15 days to be kept under observation, because he knew this thing that his mistress was over pampering him, overfeeding him. That's why he decided that he should be hospitalized for a fortnight to be kept under observation. The poor lady almost swooned. Swoon means fainted. The poor lady almost swooned to hear this news. She was sure he would pine, he would die if he did not see her every day. So what she was just thinking. Upon hearing this, Mrs. Pumphrey was sure that if Tricky did not see her every day, he would die, he would cry in pain, he would not be able to survive without his mistress. But I took a firm line. Firm line means Mr. Harriet has decided. He was confirmed about it. He has decided Tricky was very ill and this was the only way to save him. In fact, I thought it best to take him without delay. The narrator thought that it would be best to avoid any delays and get him to the hospital as soon as possible, followed by Mrs. Pumphrey's wailings. So he went to their house, and even though Mrs. Pumphrey was crying because she didn't want her dog to go away from her, he took the dog. I marched out to the car carrying the little dog wrapped in a blanket. He just took the dog, wrapped it in a blanket, and put him in the car. The entire staff was roused, and maids rushed in and out, bringing his day bed, his night bed, favorite cushions, toys, and rubber rings, breakfast bowls, lunch bowl, supper bowl. So the entire staff was roused. The entire staff just stood up. They all just stood up to do the things for him. What was that? The maids, they rushed in and out, bringing his day bed, his night bed, favorite cushions, toys, rubber rings, breakfast bowl, lunch bowl, supper bowl. So everyone, his staff included, everyone just started to gather the things for Tricky. And Mr. Harriet knew that so much stuff would not fit in his car. So realizing that my car would never hold all the stuff, I started to drive away. So he was able to understand this thing, that so much stuff, such type of stuff would not fit in his car. So he started rushing things. As I moved off, as the doctor was leaving with Tricky, Mrs. Pumphrey, with a despairing cry, threw an armful of the little coats through the window. She just threw a lot of coats that Tricky used to wear in his car. I looked in the mirror before I turned the corner of the drive. Everybody was in tears. So the doctor was able to understand this thing when he looked in the mirror, in the rear mirror of the car. he just understood this thing that everybody was in tears, everybody was emotional, they all were in tears, everyone was crying, everyone was weeping. Out on the road, I glanced down at the pathetic little animal gasping on the seat by my side. So, on the road, the narrator looked at Tricky. He was able to understand this thing that little helpless animal is feeling helplessness. He patted the little animal, who responded only, I patted the head, and Tricky made a brave effort to wag his tail. Wag means move. So, what he did only, he did not show any energy, but he just responded by wagging, by moving his tail. Then the narrator thought and told Tricky that poor old lad, I knew this thing. You haven't a kick in you, but I think I know a cure for you. That means the narrator, the doctor, was able to understand this thing that Tricky didn't have any energy, but he surely had a way to get him better. Now come to these questions. Is the narrator as rich as Tricky's mistress? No, the famous surgeon, Dr. Harriet, doesn't seem to be as rich as Tricky's mistress. How does he treat the dog? So how does the doctor treat the dog? The dog, he just kept him under observation. For 2 days, he didn't give him anything except plenty of water, but no food. And after 3 days, Tricky starts developing signs of recovery. Why is he tempted to keep Tricky on as a permanent guest? These questions we will find out later on. So come to it. At the surgery, the household dogs surged round me. So at the surgery, the household dogs, they just gathered around the doctor. Surge means gathered around the doctor. Tricky looked down at the noisy pack with dull eyes, and when put down, lay motionless on the carpet. So, at the surgery, as soon as they reached the hospital, all the other dogs gathered around the doctor. Tricky looked down at the noisy pack, looked at all of them, and when the doctor put him down on the carpet, he couldn't even move. He was not able to move. The other dogs, after sniffing means they just smelled him with nose, round him for a few seconds, decided he was an uninteresting object and ignored him. So the other dogs then sniffed him and thought to themselves that he was a very uninteresting object and that there was no use standing there, and that's why they left from that place. Then the narrator, I made up a bed for him in a warm loose box next to the one where the other dogs slept. So the narrator made up his bed. He just looked after him, and then he made up his bed, and then in a warm loose box next to the one where the other dogs slept. For 2 days, I kept an eye on him, giving him no food but plenty of water. So for 2 days, the narrator kept him just on water and nothing else. At the end of the second day, he started to show some interest in his surroundings. So what was the effect of that? At the end of the second day, the dog started to show some interest in his surroundings. Otherwise, he was just lying motionless. And on the third, he began to whimper. He began to cry in pain when he heard the dogs in the yard. So on the third day, he was making noise, he was crying or showing concern to let the people in the hospital know that he too wanted to go out with the other dogs. When I opened the door, Tricky trotted out and was immediately engulfed by Jaw. Engulfed means he was surrounded by Jaw, that is the name, the greyhound, a hunting dog, and his friends. Trotted out means moved out. So when the narrator opened the door, then Tricky quickly came out and was surrounded by Jaw, who was a greyhound, and his friends. Again, what was there? After rolling him over and thoroughly inspecting him, the dogs moved off down the garden. But again, they just sniffed him and for a moment, and all of them left for the garden where Tricky followed them. So that was the change. Tricky followed them, rolling slightly with his surplus fat. Again, he was fat, that's why he was just moving slowly. He was just rolling his body slightly with his surplus fat. He was just following other dogs. Later that day, I was present at feeding time. So later in the evening, the narrator was present at the dinner time and was watching all of them. Especially, I watched while Tristan slopped the food into the bowls. Slopped means spilled the food into the bowls. There was usual headlong rush followed by the sounds of high speed eating. So what was going there? All of them were eating with great speed. Why? Because every dog knew that if he fell behind the others, he was liable to have some competition for the last part of his meal. Because they knew that if they did not finish quickly, then the other dog, after finishing his meal, would come to eat their meal. So everyone, all of them were eating with great speed. They were just eating quickly.